Hello, this is Tim, and this is part 9 of my Hexworld world building project, and this is going to deal with government. And again, I'm going to be using heavily the World Builder's Guidebook that I have reviewed before, AD&D. Some different forms of government that you could possibly use in your hex. Autocracy, it's one hereditary ruler who wields unlimited absolute power. The autocrat may be supported by a well-developed bureaucracy or military, or he may be the only authority in an otherwise anarchic society. Immortal or undead god kings could also appear as dynastic rulers. Bureaucracy. Various departments and bureaus together compose the government, each responsible for some aspect of rule. The department heads, ministers, or secretaries may answer to a figurehead, autocrat, or council. And again, you can mix and match some of these too. Confederacy. Each individual city or town governs itself, but each contributes to a league or a federation that has as its theoretical purpose the promotion of the common good of all member states. Conditions and attitudes towards the central government may vary from place to place within the Confederacy. Democracy. Government by the people, either directly or through elected representatives. A skeletal bureaucracy or militocracy may actually do the day-to-day work of government, with positions filled through open elections. Dictatorship. One supreme ruler holds absolute authority, but it is not necessarily dynastic. In other respects, this resembles an autocracy. Feudalism. The typical government of Europe in the Middle Ages, a feudalistic society, consists of layers of lords and vassals. The vassals provide soldiers or scutage to the lords, who in turn promise protection to their vassals. Geriatocracy. Government reserved to the old, or very old in some cases. Long-lived races such as elves or dragons may be entrusted with the leadership of the land. Next one is Gynarchy. Government reserved to females only, usually paired with another system such as democracy, monarchy, or militocracy. Hierarchy. A feudal or bureaucratic system which proceeds through different levels of a religious institution. Magocracy. Government by wizards. The Sorcerer Kings of Athos in the Dark Sun campaign setting are a good example of a magocracy. The wizards may rule directly as oligarchs or feudal lords, or they may participate in a democracy or bureaucracy. Matriarchy. Government reserved for eldest or most important females. In many cases, this is an extended council of women or a feudal system based on the alliances of female-led noble houses. Militocracy. Military leaders run the nation under martial law, using the organization or apparatus of the army and other armed forces. A militocracy might be based around an elite group of soldiers, such as dragon riders or war wizards. I gotta take a break because I'm gonna start coughing. Okay, the next form of government is monarchy. Government by a single hereditary sovereign. Unlike the autocrat, the monarch's powers are limited by law, and he serves as the head of a different governmental form, such as a militocracy or democracy. Oligarchy. A small number of absolute rulers share power, possibly dividing the land into districts or provinces beneath their control, or jointly the kingdom together. A group of adventurers who take control of a nation have formed an oligarchy. Pedocracy. Government by the learned, sages, or scholars, usually associated with some form of bureaucracy. Plutocracy. Government by the wealthy. The elite may form a ruling council. They may purchase representation at the court of a figurehead monarch, or the realm may be in such a state that money is the only power. Republic. Government by representatives of an established electorate who rule in behalf of the electors. A democracy in which only landowners or certain classes could vote could be considered a republic. Satrapy, I think that's how you pronounce it. Conquerors and representatives of another government wield power over the region, ruling it as part of a larger empire. The satraps themselves may be bureaucrats and military officers, or they may be the usual characters or monsters of some kinds, such as dragons, beholders, or vampires. But again, try to make up your own unique creatures. Syndicracy? I think that's how you pronounce that. Government by representatives or leaders of various syndicates or guilds. A kingdom run by a thieves' guild would fall into this category. And Theocracy. A direct representative or collection of agents of a power rules as a dictator. So those are some examples of government that you could use. Feel free to use real-world examples of government as well. Those have a little bit of a fantasy flavor to them. And you could have, if you have different kingdoms or different governments, you can have different types, and don't be afraid to combine some of those. You can also look online to find different forms of government. That's a pretty extensive list, though. All right, thanks a lot. The next video will be about the creation myth of your hex.